Yo, what's up? I'm Nate. This is my video. Come over here. Welcome to my house. I'm here all by myself. Wife's out of town. It's just you and me and the tripod and the camera and all this ridiculous lighting I've set up for myself. Hopefully you can see me. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully I can tell you a little bit about myself. So, I'm Nate Roberts. I'm a marketing director at a local general contracting company. I'm 34 years old and I live in Cave Creek, Arizona. Nobody knows where Cave Creek is, but it's just north of Phoenix. So, I've done this once before. Sent in an audition tape a couple years ago, and that was for GHA, not GHI or GH, just GHA. This is a little different. Looks like you're checking for a new ghost hunter. Hopefully I can be your guy. So you're looking for a ghost hunter, so let me tell you about the paranormal and what I've been up to, what I've done in the past. So I've been involved in the paranormal since about 2004, which was right when Ghost Hunters came out. I don't have a unique story or an experience that got me into the paranormal. Frankly, I just watched Ghost Hunters, and that first show, I remember it still, there at somebody's house, and it was just so cool. I've always liked scary movies, but it was different, it was legit, and I said, I want to do that. I want to do that, and I want to find a team and do it locally. So I got online and I was like, whoa, who are all these people? There was like 5 teams locally at least that did it. So I jumped on board with one and investigated them for a few years, checking out a lot of like homes, but then we also did some pretty cool spots. Arizona is awesome. We have a lot of pretty neat historic locations. I'm a history dork, so I love all that stuff. So I was with them for a couple years, and then there was a lot of psychics on that team, and I'm not psychic. I'm very analytical. I needed, more skepticism, and they didn't really have anything. Every little noise was a ghost, had to be a ghost. So I wasn't digging that. So I found a TAPS family team locally, the only TAPS family team in Arizona, which is SPI, Sonora Paranormal Investigations. I went over to them, so I joined up, and we were just like TAPS. We had a lot of skeptical folks, a lot of great investigators. Paul Bradford, who was on GHI, was on my team. We investigated a bunch of times together. He was one of the founders of that group. And then GHI took him away from us, and the group didn't really have much to investigate after that. He was really the backbone, he and another guy, and once they both stopped, the investigations dried up. So we were, here's our shirts. Of course, this is just TAPS, but this is what we wore, our SPI/TAPS shirts. So after that, I had to go to East Valley Paranormal Society. I'm sure you all know who they are, but it was an investigation paranormal team. I mean, we went around, we hit some really cool spots. So over those 3 groups, for the past 8 years, I've been investigating. We've done some cool spots. The Birdcage Theater in Tombstone, I've done that like 3 times. The OK Corral down there. In Bisbee, the Copper Queen Hotel, the San Carlos Hotel downtown in Phoenix. What else have we done? Tons of homes. The Vulture Mine. We have a lot of ghost towns in Arizona, so we're pretty lucky. I think we have some pretty fun spots to investigate. Hotels, ghost towns. We'd hit a cemetery every once in a while. The Jerome Grand Hotel up in Jerome, that place is awesome. That's another ghost town. So I've been all over Arizona investigating, and I just love it. So on an investigation, you also want to know about all the fun little gadgets and stuff. You want to make sure that if you pick somebody, they know how to work the gear. So this is one of my 2 gear bags from when I was with SPI, the TAPS family group, and I don't have all the gadgets, but I know how to use them all. But the stuff that's on Ghost Hunters, they have like the top of the line stuff. I have a little bit more humble gear, but it gets me along just fine. Of course, you have to have an EMF detector. This is my EMF detector. I have a haunted house. So I got it. That's a cell sensor. That's the one that I use. I've got, of course, the camera that we're using here. This is the HDD Sony camera Night Shot. I use that all the time. and I need an IR extender to go with that. Shoots IR into the room, lights it up green like you see on the camera. I do something a little unique. I like to use infrared glow sticks. Kind of hard to find, but they're pretty cool. So if it's dark and you got glow sticks all around, you can't really see them. But with that camera, with the night shot, it glows up the whole room on the night shot. All kinds of flashlights and little tinker toys. My favorite piece of equipment isn't flashy at all. It's my digital recorder. I've got two of them, but it's my digital recorder. It's simple. I've found more evidence with my digital recorder than I have with a camera, a still camera, a video camera. With anything else, it's always been on my recorder. And it sometimes sucks when you got to put the headphones on. They're not exaggerating on the show because they're sitting there for hours. I know what that's like. 8 hours of video review, 6 hours of audio review. It's tiring, it's boring, but when you hear that EVP, it's like, I get chills now thinking of some of the ones that I've caught. It's the greatest feeling. You've captured something that's paranormal. So I love sitting in the dark and doing an EVP session with my digital recorder. That's fun for me. So I'd love to work more with the thermal. I've worked with laser grids, EM pumps. I've worked with just about everything you can imagine. The K2, of course, I know they use that on ghost hunters. The K2, that's basically an EMF detector. White noise machines, all kinds of different trigger objects. I think I've just about used it all. So I would very much look forward to using some of the more advanced gear that I've seen on taps. Their thermal imager is way better than the one that we have. And of course their camera setup, the way it's linked all to the van, we don't have anything like that. That's legit. I'm jealous of that. I'm very jelly. What kind of teammate am I? You can't see it. There's little cue cards over here. I'm trying to do this in one take. Fingers crossed. What kind of teammate would I be? What would I do on the team? So I can tell you what I've done in the past. First of all, I think one of my biggest skills is that I can communicate pretty well. So obviously I went to school for that. I have a marketing degree. I know how to talk to people. So I would always talk to the clients or homeowners, property owners, property managers, whoever it is, to try to set their expectations. What do they want? What are they expecting out of this? What are we going to be doing there? We're a bunch of strangers in their house. So who are we? Sort of setting their mind at ease. That was part of what I did. So it's really, there's an interview process there, so I love to do the interviewing. Case managing as well. Obviously that's sort of case managing. Now when we were with, when I was with SPI, that was a TAPS family member, so we would get all kinds of crazy applications from Looney Tunes people. I mean, clearly they just want to be on the show, they want their home or whatever to be on the show. So we had to sort through all that and figure out who's really like legit scared and who thinks they really have something and who's just crazy and wants to be on the show. There were so many crazies, so I had to sort of filter through all those people. But at the same time, we get to pick cool locations too. That was just for homes and stuff, but we could do hotels and not have to set that up if we're going to investigate the Jerome Grand or Birdcage. So making contacts with those places, learning about the history, that's another part of it. I'm a huge history dork. I love the history. That's why I love Arizona and the ghost towns and Tombstone and all that. I love getting into the history. So many times someone will tell you about some legend, like the legend of their hotel or the lady in red that was murdered here, blah, blah, blah. Dude, they're lying half the time, right? Or it's been hand-me-down lore. You get online for, 2 minutes to the right website and you can find out what's really happened there. And it's pretty cool when they're actually right. I mean, and your evidence that, or an EVP that you caught matches the history. That's the most exciting because you've built a really strong case for something paranormal there. So I'm all about, that evidence. That sort of transitions into what kind of investigator I am. I said I'm skeptical before. There's probably a scale, like skeptic and psychic. like absolute believer and you got to be kidding me. I'm almost right at the very end of you got to be kidding me. Like I've had people on groups say they're skeptical and they're a skeptic, and then the lights go out and they hear a noise and they're like, oh my god, it's a ghost. Like, it's not always a ghost. You know, use some logic, use some reason. If you hear a noise, it's just a noise. Check it out, do what you can, figure it out. It's going to be creepy because of the setting, but more often than not, it's not anything. It's just the wind or the AC or a door or some sort of contamination from outside. I mean, very rarely is something like that paranormal, but it's our job as investigators to prove whether it's paranormal or not. So I'm very skeptical. I bring that to the team. I got to have hard data. So you know, communication aspect, the hard data aspect. That's the kind of investigator that I am. So one of the questions you guys asked is, like, who would I not get along with on the team? What kind of person annoys me or whatever? So I was trying to think about that, and I think maybe my biggest pet peeve is irresponsibility. I like to go out and have a good time and party. I'm a very fun dude. But at the same time, I have a lot of responsibilities. I show up on time. I do what I say I'm going to do. And I plan things. I'm a serious planner. Even when we went on our honeymoon, I would plan the day that I would plan all of our events, and then we'd have 2 open days to do whatever we wanted. But I planned those open days as open days. Just a little example. I love to have plan and order, and I cannot stand irresponsibility. And I have some of my best friends in the world are super irresponsible, and it makes me want to kill myself because, yeah, I'll be there, sure, I'll see you at 10 o'clock, and then no one shows up, and it's just, it drives me insane. Or they're always late, or they're not paying whatever they're supposed to pay. It's like, I don't know, it drives me nuts. You know, do what you say you're gonna do, and we won't have a problem. So, more about my personal life. I know I have to tell you about myself in 6 or 7 minutes or whatever. I hope I'm getting everything in. I've been married for 3 years. I have a beautiful wife. We don't have kids yet. I try to stay active. I play soccer twice a week, and I play golf. So I play indoor soccer and I play outdoor soccer, and it's competitive. Try to stay in shape. I just started P90X, as you can tell. No, it's not yet. Soon, hopefully soon. Those guys on the video are like pull-ups like this. Like, I can get like 1 or 2 in, but we're getting there. I'm gonna keep at it, and I'm gonna be ripped. No, probably not. I love to travel. I love to see different cities. I've been all over the U.S. and I've been abroad. I'm a big music guy. I love music. I was a roadie for U2 for a long time. I'm sure you probably know that band. That's my favorite band. And I was a roadie for them, which is basically a glorified coffee boy. Little bitch is what I was called. But that's okay, because I got to go backstage, and I got to see a hell of a lot of shows. And I still do that today. When I can, I break off and I'll go catch a show wherever they're at. On their last show, on their last tour, I caught about 20 shows. So I see other bands too. I love live music. That's a big part of my life. I love to go out. We hit the town a lot. We like to try new restaurants. I like to get out with the boys. We'll hit Vegas. You know, we're fun-loving. We like to get out and do stuff, but we're still responsible. So we try to do that responsibly as we can. That's pretty much me. I mean, it's so cliche to say I'm a people person, but I don't know how else to describe it. Social butterfly, another name tag, I guess. You wanted to know what my friends would call me, but those are the types of words that would probably describe me best. I feel like people do want to be around me. I love to organize events and group outings with all of our friends and family so we can all be together. Very social guy. So all that combined with the paranormal and the experience, and hopefully some of the personality I've been able to demonstrate on this little camera has been enough to show you whatever it is that you may need. And I got my fingers crossed. So thanks for giving me the time. Have a good day.